All right, so guys, we promised that we were going to do something like this one of these days. Patricia and I hanging out and talking, and then me hitting go live. We were talking about this insanity happening in Minneapolis, and I'm just going to play this. We've heard about this happened a couple of days ago. These are the peace loving um, leftists, okay? These are the people who claim that they are engaging in peaceful protests, and then you have a conservative who shows up. Of course, the mainstream media would call him a conservative agitator. That's what they would call him. He's an agitator, and then they swarm the guy, and then the video is right there. So,
He's
Patricia,
got a
you and I,
serious head injury. He
yeah,
had
yeah,
a gash in his head and a concussion and maybe some brain trauma.
yeah. So, guys, just let's talk about it. We have a few minutes. This is not going to be a long um, live stream. I just figured that I should bring you guys into the conversation. I keep telling you guys that Patricia and I keep hanging out, and before we know it, we're hours into our conversation. So we figured we'd just pull you in so that you can see, just be part of the conversation. So that happened a few days ago. Now, let me ask you a question. No matter what the provocation or what the reason of the protest might be, is this what an American citizen should be expecting, to happen to him simply because he wanders into the midst of a peaceful protest? Okay, they want you to believe this is a peaceful
Oh,
protest,
he
and
wasn't the
then
only one attacked. There was another guy who was in camouflage that they thought was a conservative. They beat him to a pulp. He's in the hospital with swelling on his brain, and he was one of their protesters.
okay, so I saw this video earlier. I hope, yeah. So I think this is not this one. I saw a video earlier, and essentially, people like they're running at people in traffic now. They're
Yes.
running at people in traffic now, and pulling them out of their cars and beating them up. Like, what is going on in Minneapolis? Okay, we then there's the incident at the church. All right. Let's look at that incident. Now, we're not playing the videos. We're just going to put the videos up on the screen, and then you guys, let's know what you think. Okay, let's know what you think. This is this is a church. Okay, now I'm going to. This is a church. All right. So this I don't know. Sorry, I maxed the screen
There's
out.
that
So
bearded guy I was
yeah.
talking.
So this guy walks into a church. Of course, the protesters are there, and he walks into the church. He's trespassing, and he's filming, and he's screaming. This is a place of worship. All right. This is a place of worship, and he walks in there. Like, these people would never do this at a mosque.
This
They
is
would never do this at a mosque.
this is at a Baptist church.
Yeah.
This,
They would never do this at a mosque. Okay? Mosques are protected locations. It's as if it's open season whenever it's conservatives, or whenever it's a Christian location. You have these people bust in from different cities, and then they invade a church, and they want to find a way to justify it. Now they are using language that says that this is a free speech issue. This is a public space, so it's our coming into a church to protest is covered by the First Amendment. However, I will remind everyone that when elderly people and Christians stood in front of abortion clinics during the Biden administration to pray. They didn't even obstruct anyone who wanted to walk into the clinics to have their procedures done. They stood outside and prayed silently. These people were slammed with indictments,
Mhm.
and many of them went to jail.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you see these kinds of things happening, we need to do this with our eyes wide open. Okay, now, so guys, what do you think? Now, this is another angle of that incident. Okay, these are the protesters. Okay, they storm the church. Parents take their kids and rush them out the back door of the church because they're terrified that their kids are going to get hurt. And then these people essentially, like, what's the rationale for taking a protest into the
Well,
church?
they forgot one major thing about that First Amendment. That First Amendment not only covers the freedom of speech, it covers the freedom of religious practice. And nobody is allowed to march into a church and stop a church service. That is illegal and that is prosecutable. That is somebody facing up to 10 to 15 years in a federal penitentiary, not in a jail in their local county, a federal penitentiary. And I'm hoping above all hopes that each and every one of those people that marched into that church, especially that Yahoo right there with the beard and the blue toboggan on, gets the max.
Well, we will see about that. The Trump DOJ hasn't been very forthcoming with indictments that make sense to the Republican voter. I would
Well,
say that.
most people want instant gratification that the DOJ is writing out these warrants and going and picking these people up. But before the DOJ can write the warrant, they have to gather the evidence, identify the people, make the case of why they want to arrest that person on these charges. And once they do that, the judge will sign off on a warrant and then go pick them up. And
Yeah,
that process takes time. And I wished it was faster. It's not, but
yeah,
you can bet that they're going to be arrested. This
yeah.
is something
Well,
that Trump is not going to let just slide by.
yeah. So, I'm sure that I'm not sure we talked about the incident where the federal vehicle was broken into last week. I think we mentioned it on Saturday. We mentioned it on Saturday that
Is
a
this
federal
the
vehicle.
is this the video of them capturing the people who did it?
I I don't I don't know. Let's see. It's all in Spanish. I put in a search in on X. So we're just talking and surfing the reports on X, guys. So so you guys just okay, so another shooting in Minneapolis involving a federal officer. So I guess this is the one. Why am I getting all these Spanish um captions? I think this is the report where someone got shot in the leg. I think this is the
Well,
one
that's
where.
that's where three people attacked an officer, a federal officer, and he shot one in the leg. That's where he got attacked with a snow shovel and broomsticks.
Okay, so there's
People, you
there's
cannot lay hands on a law enforcement officer and expect them not to do something.
Yeah, so you see these kinds of videos, okay? You see these people who essentially go on social media and claim that ICE agents are unhinged and criminal. Like, well, the video that
I don't
we
know how many
published.
people remember this, but there was a group of guys that went around with shaved heads like that called skinheads.
Yep.
Is that one of their leftovers?
Yep. And those people tended to be racist Nazis.
And very
So,
violent.
and very
Very
violent,
violent.
so I released a video yesterday. So if you've not seen it, please head on over to the main channel and see it. It's on the difference in coverage of ICE raids by CNN during the Obama administration and how they cover ICE raids under the Trump administration. It
And
is
that
very
was with a
different.
CNN reporter ride along with
Yeah,
ICE.
yeah. So what I would like you guys to do is just head on over there and watch it. Like, this is just Patricia and I talking and chatting about what's going on in the world, and we just wanted you guys to just come on in and just be part of the conversation. We are seeing history uh in real time. We most of us are old enough to have been aware of how ICE was being covered during the Obama administration, and we saw the transition. We saw that switch between how favorable they were about deportations. Obama deported so many people. They affectionately referred to him as the deporter in chief. They said how those deportations were necessary for safety of communities. Okay, and in the report that I covered during, in the video, they arrested the wrong guy. And the person who was doing the ride along, the CNN reporter doing the ride along, was saying, well, this is a high stress um, job and mistakes like this can be made. So they made all the excuses for ICE. But if there was ever one incident captured or caught on camera by these guys, they would run it like, yeah, these are the racist people who
And it
want
was
to.
the guy's brother that they arrested that they
Yeah,
were looking for, and he told them where to find his brother at.
yeah. So the switch, and here again, the same guy, MAGA Bible thumpers. There's a hostility against Christians, and you know we're not the ones saying it. They're the ones saying it. Okay, we're
Well,
not the ones pointing it out.
no.
Okay, so this is not like what they do, where they bring up these accusations that have zero head or tail. Canary King, we sorry, I put up the chat the last time. Canary King is in the chat. Greetings.
Greetings.
Okay, so we have about 5 or 10 more minutes left on this stream. So let's know your thoughts about this. We're just having a conversation. We're
Well,
hanging out. We were having our usual phone call, and I said to Patricia, I'm going to do that thing I promised the viewers that I was going to do one day. So if you like this, fine, but you might see a mushroom cloud on the main channel after this stream is over, or I'll just unlist it and then you'll still be able to see it later. But I like these moments where we just dive into these conversations and then we just talk real quick and then end the live stream. We don't want it to be overtly long, but if you have something to add to it, if you have something to add, some commentary to add, then we can jump into it. And then maybe we can make this a thing, just a 10-minute live stream where we just quickly jump into something that's developing and then we talk about it real quick and then we duck out, and then maybe we have a brief conversation, and maybe on the Saturday live stream or um on the Wednesday live stream, because we're going live tomorrow. On the Wednesday live stream, we can bring it up and have a longer conversation, or on that. Canary King says sounds good. It's all good. Yeah. So we intentionally haven't been covering breaking news or real time news because we're leaning more into historical referencing and trying to connect the dots between what happened years ago and what's going on today. So that's essentially the tone of the content. But it doesn't mean that we can't go live and talk about things that are critical, like this attitude towards law enforcement, towards a certain group in the society. Why would they take their protest into a church? So um no well we didn't schedule this live stream, so I'm totally good with the fact that we're not going to get as many uh, comments on this as we are usually accustomed to. Canary King wants to talk about foreign policy. We talked about Greenland briefly yesterday, Patricia. So, Patricia, your thoughts on the Greenland issue? We talked about it yesterday. We didn't go live yesterday to bring you guys in. We talked about Greenland yesterday. So, Patricia, what
When
do you have
I
to say about
heard,
Greenland?
when I heard the EU was sending troops to Greenland, the first thought in my brain was, where are they going to put them? Number one, are they going to have to pitch tents out on the ice? Because America has a military base on Greenland. They always have been there. So I'm wondering, what in God's name does the EU think it's doing when it can't even protect itself from Russia? What, it's going to go up against the people that they abuse, that protects their countries? America is who protects Europe,
So
not
I
the
have I
EU
have
being
a
there.
theory. And the theory is this: the EU is banking on Trump's term ending and Democrats taking over the White
They'll never
House.
be in office for a while again.
Well, let's do what it takes to make sure that doesn't happen again, because
Biden
conservatives have a habit
is
of
going
just
to, the Biden era is going to create the same thing that happened when Nixon happened.
mm,
It was a while before we got a Republican back into the presidency. And what Obama and Biden and the Democrats did in that 4 years will keep them out of office for 12.
okay. That is if the Democrats don't manufacture a catastrophe or a similar scandal that would
I don't
give
think
them
they
a
can
chance.
now. I
Yeah,
don't think they honestly can now because they threw all that stuff out in the first 4 years.
yeah.
And this time when it came in, it's like, we don't believe you anymore. Nobody believes them. But I was going to tell you one of the funniest protests I seen this morning. I ran across it and I thought, this is hysterical. There's a guy named Adam Francisco, and there was this protest set up in this small, I think it's a Florida town, and the pro ICE people got to the courthouse earlier than the anti ICE people did and took up position where the anti ICE people always set up. And they had signs um, supporting ICE, and they had signs they'd made up with the women's faces on it that
Yeah.
had gotten killed.
So that's it.
This is it. And the funniest thing right there, EI, deport every illegal. Now, the funny thing about this was when the anti ICE people showed up, they went down on the corner and set up their protest. And they were just standing around down there doing absolutely nothing. And when these people walked over there to talk to them one at a time, they would start screaming and yelling and shielding their faces with their signs and stuff, and
it's
it was just hysterical. And as
it's
soon as the
embarrassing.
person left the anti-ICE people, they would go silent again
Yeah.
and just stand around. And I was looking at this going, "This is hysterical." And it was
So
a real small
so
group.
so Adam Francisco is a Mexican immigrant.
Yes, he is a legal Mexican immigrant, and the one blonde-haired woman who was holding the sign with the women's faces on it that
Yeah.
had been raped and killed by illegals.
Yeah.
She's standing there with a beige coat on, I think,
Yeah. Yeah.
and she's a legal immigrant.
So that's her there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she came to America and became an American citizen.
Yeah. So there she is.
Yep, she has
So
her own channel.
yeah. So I said this a few weeks back or a couple of months back. I don't remember. We've made so many videos. And I said, I think it's time for conservatives to start using these tools that the Democrats have
Yep.
been using, you know, for a long time, which is protests.
Now this
And
was in Florida and it was like 38 degrees out.
yeah, yeah. So I think it's about time that conservatives begin to do things like this. We have about a couple of minutes left on the stream. I told you
Yeah,
guys that this is going to be a quick hit. We've been on for 21 minutes. Wow. So can
Greenland
we're going
is
to
picking up steam.
yeah.
Greenland
So
is.
yeah. So the Europeans are freaking out. I don't care. The Europeans
Oh,
have shown that they have zero backbone. They have an invasion happening within their borders, and instead of tackling the rampant um, crime that is brewing within their communities, they are trying to shame other countries like Hungary to allow unchecked immigration into their country so that their crime rates can be equal across the board.
do
It's
you
like what
know
you said
why?
yesterday
Do you know
that
why Hungary does not allow illegal immigrants in their country?
no.
Here's a story for y'all. George Soros is a Hungarian. He is from the country Hungary.
Okay.
Hungary banned anyone in their country from taking money from George Soros for political purposes. It is illegal in that country for anyone to accept money from Soros.
We need to talk about that in a different live
Yeah,
stream because that
that
is
was
huge.
huge. That was huge that his own country will not accept him. Now, he does have American citizenship. And who gave him that, I don't know. They were out of their lunatic mind. But that's the one thing about Hungary and why Hungary is so nice with Trump. They
All
got
right.
a common enemy.
Yeah. All right, guys. We have to shut this down. Look, I love live streaming and but do you know what? I made a promise and I said, okay, let's try this out and see how it goes. What's going on in Minnesota? If you're watching this after the fact, let's know your thoughts in the comment section. We're going to unleash the video on the main channel, but let's see how this goes because, like I said, we're just in a season of experimentation. But um, conversations like this are like coffee table conversations. We just Patricia and I have these conversations every other day. We just wanted you guys to just take part, and I'm actually glad that we were able to do this. Let's know your thoughts. Send a comment, like this video, okay, and we'll be back tomorrow for tomorrow's live stream. We
And
hope you'll be able
stand
to
up
join
for
us,
your rights, people.
and please stand up for your rights. And
You have got to stand up because if you don't stand up and you think, well, somebody else could do it, you're going to lose your rights.
Yeah. All right. So if you're on the main channel, so here's what we're going to do. On the main channel, we're going to end the live stream. We're still going to stream for a couple of minutes on the backup channel. So you can hop on over to the backup channel. I did say that the backup channel is Crossroads Live, real Crossroads Live. So you can just go over there, and then we can just wrap up. We're just going to have a softer landing, but we're just simply going to cut out from the main channel right now. So we will be back tomorrow for our routine live stream covering the previous video and the developing stories in the news, and then we will see you tomorrow at 6:30 Eastern. So